Welcome to this video on Dana White, Zuffa boxing. Obviously, his venture into the boxing space has now signed a world champion and top tier level pound for pound fighter, Jai Opetaia, to a promotional contract. Look, an incredible signing that I didn't think was possible, and I think this really shows where they're looking to go, and I think I want to break that down. So I think me and many others thought Dana White coming in would be, from the looks of it and how they were positioning, would have been a UFC model. That's what they sort of wanted, a UFC style model in boxing. But they would have to, in a sense, go towards the up and coming boxing level. To start that model and to get them onto contracts, and then because in a sense the higher level people are already earning enough money where them events may still happen, but they won't be in the sort of Dana White model of boxing in their promotional company. It'll be probably more Turkey Al Sheikh and all them guys doing it, maybe with the help of Dana like they have before, but likelihood that won't be where they're aiming it at, because in a sense that would very much distort the UFC model works, because you are the top tier company by far in that fight sport, and so really everyone wants to go to you, and you still offer the most money. Whereas boxing, the top guys are already getting massive fight contracts, things like that you probably can't compete with to keep that model going in the future. You can't just give out Turkey Al Sheikh, style money for super fight, and sign these guys up to contracts for 3-5 fights. It's one and done for that type of thing, because you don't want to be signing up to a contract and actually who am I fighting? I've got a contract for another fight at X amount of million, and you can't find someone. You can't find something that actually makes the cash and makes it make sense to make the fight in from their contracts. And that can be a major problem for like a UFC model coming into a boxing space where you already have mass money, and the sort of style of where it is that these top guys are just earning way above what you could probably offer in a model like that to keep the model going. But getting past that, I think this really shows what they're trying to do. This is where they're going. The lower level stuff, I think they are looking to build. Of course, it looks like that's what they're trying to start off with, build names and do stuff like that. So definitely happening. But this sign really shows they want to be big time. They want to be top tier. They want to be signing big fighters, big names, and get people watching. And that, of course, was, I think, always going to happen in some respect, that they would be looking to get a big name, or a few big names at least, under contract to try and get the name out there, people watching. And look, Jai Opetaia is an incredible name, which I didn't think they would be able to sign. I thought they were going for, okay, big name fighters. I thought that, but there'd be reasons why you could get them. Sort of, oh, he's unhappy, he's really out of sorts, he can't really find a fight, and you said you can find him a fight and you'll pay him a load of money. And that's what I thought you'd be going for, that type of fight where there's an easy way in to get that contract going, everyone being happy. You probably can take it's easy enough to have that negotiation. Whereas Jai Opetaia, I don't for sure know about how happy he was. There wasn't massive things in the news that he was unhappy. But look, to also sign Jai Opetaia, you're paying a lot of money. He's going to be offered a lot of money from everyone else. You've probably had to go over and above that to sign him into Zuffa, because again, the risk of going, oh, who am I fighting? Where are the names? And probably one of the biggest names in boxing, and will be for a while. Look, there's talk of him, even from myself, of can he go up to heavyweight? Who can he beat? Is he a problem for Atoma in the future? And that's the type of conversations he's being put in, because I think that will happen. I think he probably likely will go up to heavyweight and be a fighter who's gone up, sort of like an Usyk, and And yeah, will he do well? I think he will. I think for sure. And that may be the fights where we sort of forecasting the fights in the future is that maybe that them two are the ones that come together in Atoma and Jai at sort of the top end of heavyweight when they get there. So Jai, pound for pound fighter, definitely for sure. Is the best at his weight by far. I don't think anyone gets near him currently. It's a big name. It's a big name. Top tier fighter, top of his game. And look, if they're going to sign fighters like this, I'd be worried for Eddie, Matchroom, all the rest of them, Frank Warren. They're coming to take fighters on contracts and they are willing to pay clearly. If you've got Jai, you've made some clear in the negotiation. It's not just about money for Jai, I fully expect, because he's getting offered that pretty much anywhere. You're offering him fights. You're offering him the big names. He fights where people won't fight him because they don't want to lose their records, things like that in boxing. That happens quite significantly. A lot to cause fights not to happen. I think that goes away. I think what they've said is, look, we're going to sign these people up to contracts. We're going to sign more people that you want to fight. We're going to sign people across the board as well, clearly. And I fully expect this happens within, Jai, maybe a big name, that's their first name to start off with, who's sort of a massive name in the boxing space already. But look, clearly going to be continuing this signing process. I think they may take a little break after before announcing anyone else to let that sort of him be the he's going to be the poster boy of this new Zuffa boxing. I fully expect so. A brilliant signing. I think it would worry if I was with any of the other boxing promoter, because it clearly they've got this sort of younger, up and coming talent part of their model. But clearly going after something quite significantly bigger at the top end of the sport as well, which I didn't think they'd be doing straight away. I thought they would be, okay, Dana maybe and Zuffa Boxing and things, maybe putting on big fights with Turkey Al Sheikh and all that sort of, one fight night type thing, one big main event, and that's it. They're not signed up to a contract. They're one and done type thing. I think actually they're going for this. Look, and maybe Turkey Al Sheikh's helping with this, but you sign up and I will give you a load of money, and Zuffa Boxing have a lot of money as well, granted. But I think there might be some Riyadh season type things that are intertwined with this. But I think, look, if they get looking at the forecast from me after this signing, they will sign up other big fighters, and they will be made to make them fights in that contract. That's what's going to happen. They're going to, and all it will mean for fans, at least, and this is clear for the boxing world. I think if you're a promoter currently versus Zuffa coming in, that is scary. The amount of cash, the amount of money, they're clear now want to be at the top of the sport, as well as building up this sort of not grassroots, but more prospect level boxing. They want to be at the top of the sport as well. So what you've got is another competitor where you've got to try and win these fighters over. So I think there's going to be some more big signings. I think for sure. I don't see how there's not. And that'll be clear intent. And I think this is clear intent. I think they want to start taking over this quite significantly. And they don't want to be quick about it. They don't want to be messing around. The signing Jai Opetaia is clear. Jai's not going to be wanting to sit on the sidelines for, or fighting people that don't move the needle for any fan. He wants the big fights, and that's likely, I'm guessing, part of the contract. He has been promised that they will sign people that he wants to fight, and they will get the fights through. So, look, there's some big fights coming. I fully expect there'll be some big signings coming. And look, I think Eddie, Frank Warren, even, and any other promoter really is going to be looking to tie down their big stars ASAP. And I'd be more scared for Frank Warren with the amount of heavyweights he's got on his books. How many could be tempted away would be a concern, and I think that is the problem. I think they will just start signing people because they're going to offer an incredible rate on a contract that really even with these people earning millions upon millions, it's something they cannot refuse. For 5 fights versus 5 fights there, it will be I fully expect an incredible difference in value. And even if they don't, I think Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, and promoters like that will have to offer better contracts. The negotiation will not go in their favour anymore because they've got a competitor who's willing to pay. Where they didn't really before. They had Frank, Eddie, but really they're offering similar amounts of cash. But to sign Jai, I fully expect that is they started breaking barriers down in that department and just started offering, look, we need stars now. We need to get our name out there. We'll offer you a mad teaser rate for your first 5 fights, and then we negotiate afterwards. And if we are big enough, and the brand is big enough, and people want to come to us anyway, we can start reducing that, increased incremental overpayment we're making. But incredible intent from Dana, incredible intent from Zuffa Boxing, and it's exciting. If only from a fan point of view, which is myself and probably everyone watching this video, it provides a competitor who wants to make the big fights. The UFC model makes the big fights as and when they can. Okay, if someone gets injured, fair enough, it is out of their hands. But the model makes the big fights. Boxing, in a sense, has done recently. But if you think about if Turkey Al-Sheikh wasn't in the business, and you had Eddie, you had Frank, the rest of them, would the fights be made? I don't think they would be. I think the mad amount of money has made them boxers get in the ring because Turkey Al-Sheikh has made it happen. Zuffa Boxing, in a sense, is that next step of going, I'm going to sign these people up to mad contracts over and above paying what anyone else would. But what I get out of it is I can make the big fight. I can make an entertaining business. I can then, once I start taking a mad market share and this is the whole point that they have to do, they have to take over to make this work. They have to start taking over, pushing Eddie and Frank out of the business, because otherwise they aren't going to have enough control to start reducing them payments to keep these guys at Zuffa Boxing and to make them make them take the massive fights that we want them to take. Why take the risk if they can't offer that more money, unless they can start pushing Eddie and Frank out to the point where they cannot offer their current terms like they do now, which is the whole point of this. And this is why I'd be a worry if I was a promoter in boxing or in a sense like that. But for a fan, more competition is always better, because it means that they have to put on bigger fights. They have to make the fights people want to see to get that crowd audience, because there's another person who's going to put on another boxing event next week or the same day that people may watch. So it's a competing show, and so you have to make the best event possible. So yeah, I think it's only positive for a fan watching boxing. I think it's incredible intent from Zuffa. I think they're going, look, we're coming to take over now. We got Jai. That really puts everyone else on notice, going, I'm waiting for an offer. So I think it's going to be really interesting over the next few days, in boxing, next few weeks even. Let me know what you think in the comments down below of this update of Jai Opetaia signing for Zuffa Boxing, and let me know what you think what do you think Zuffa Boxing will do in boxing next? I think who will they sign, and what do you think their aim is? What timelines, things like that. Let me know. 'Cause I'm really interested in what you guys think as well. So, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.